Okay, now that everybody has a book, we're ready to get started. Thank you for coming out today. By now everybody knows who I am. My name is Geof Huth. We have a reading here today with Geof Huth and with Crag Hill, sometimes Craig Hill, who's coming to us all the way from Moscow, Idaho. Whoa. Beautiful Palouse country. And so just for you guys, so thanks for coming. We're going to call this Sightings and Hearings. The book sort of takes you through things, but we jump around a little bit. The front of the book is Crag, the middle and forward of the book is me. And there is everything that we say won't be in the book, but have fun.
Thanks for coming out. We have something old, something new, and I think we're also bringing in some other writers from our community too. And the first one I'd like to read, to sort of frame the reading, is a piece from Nick Piombino's Fait Accompli blog. It's he has the blog still going. This is a print version of entries from the blog. But this struck me last night, and I think the last time I read with Geof, this is sort of what we're doing towards the end here. But I'll read the whole entry from February 27, 2003. Until writers know what we can be and do for and with ourselves and each other, the story or strong subtext of the stories and poems, the lives and the works of most writers will be to show what a writer can be and do. Our history and landscape is littered with the stories of what a writer can't be or couldn't be, can't have or couldn't have, shouldn't have or shouldn't be. Mostly they are stories of what and who destroyed the writer or tried to. Like all writers until now, writers have accepted working mostly as slaves. We have been arrested and brought in and don't know why. For some, this may be the appeal of signing up to be a writer and then doing nothing at all. Writer's block equals going on strike. Until this has been talked about and confronted among ourselves, writers will not have much else to think about, whatever else it is we talk about. We will go on talking around this and keep looking for ways to avoid talking about this and talk about how to get the word out, all the time trying like hell to avoid thinking and talking about this. This is why we fight among ourselves. Until we learn how to use our words, our communicative skills, on behalf of each other, we will go on disliking ourselves, even hating ourselves and each other, even destroying ourselves and each other, or trying to. So what I hope we're doing tonight in part is using others' words to be part of the community too. And with that, the first piece I'm going to do is Poem by B.P. Nichol. It's called, I'd like you to close your eyes because I'd like you to take it in you. I'd rather you not see me, but see the words as they get inside you. Poem by B.P. Nichol, 1972. What is a poem is inside of your body, 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 body. What is a poem is inside your head, inside your head, inside your head, inside your head. Oh, what is a poem is inside your fingers, 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 fingers. What is a poem is inside your toes, inside your toes, inside your toes, inside your toes. Oh, what is a poem is inside of your belly, 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 belly. What is a poem is inside your heart, inside your heart, inside your heart, inside your heart. Oh, what is a poem is inside your eyes, 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 eyes. What is a poem is inside your nose, inside your nose, inside your nose, inside your nose. Oh, what is a poem is inside your ears, 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 ears. What is a poem is inside your mouth, inside your mouth, inside your mouth, inside your mouth. Oh, what is a poem is inside your voice, 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 voice. What is a poem is inside your body, inside your head, inside your fingers, inside your toes, inside your belly, inside your heart, inside your eyes, inside your nose, inside your ears, inside your lips, inside your voice. Oh, what is a poem's inside your body, 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 body. What is a poem's inside your happy, 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 happy. What is a poem is inside you? Whoa, inside you. Whoa, inside you. Whoa, inside you. Whoa. Oh, what is a poem is inside you? Loving, 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 loving. What is a poem is inside you? Breathing, 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 breathe, 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 breathing.
Now we continue reading from Tom Beckett's Unprotected Texts. We're going to read a few pieces from a section at the end of the book called Wittgenstein Improvisations. And just so I can actually see the text, I'll put on my glasses. 20. As if you were to say, I am what you find on your palette. I am your medium.
21. My friend is not its sex. My friend is almost entirely parenthetical. My friend is a certain limit.
22a for Crag Hill. What one does is to bring speech to music's windy cliff, leaving it to ponder when to jump.
B for Geof. Huth. What one does is to bring speech to vision's porous border, leaving it to ponder where to cross.
And now, a selection from the beginning of a blog of mine that I write every single day called 1 Million Footnotes. 1. 2. The first footnote was blank. 3. He grew up in Bayside, but had never been to Queens. 4. Since this book lacks page numbers, navigate by footnote. 5. Each window pane he saw as a sheet filled with liquid writing. 6. She could think of ideas only if they were true. 7. Taking a cloth to wipe her brow, he rubbed her all away. 8. In his bare feet, he walked carefully across the oaken floorboards, searching for that glint of glass to pierce his soul. 9. She had planned to be an historian until she realized she could remember nothing of the past. 10. Her retroussé nose lifted slightly at the sound. 11. Awaking during a storm, she could not interpret the tattoo of rain. 12. The house creaked into place just before he fell asleep. 13. As cited in his book on page 13, there is no page 13, there is no book. 14. A handful of creases. 15. In one hand he cupped an egg, in the other his forehead. 16. His head a swirl with thoughts and sleep, he could feel his brain sloshing within his skull. 17. Each footnote is numbered in alphabetical order. 18. The index includes only those words missing from the text. 19. A ragged V of geese flew toward no particular horizon. 20. Some of his unanswered email was so old that it existed in the form of a series of words impressed into sheets of paper. 21. Each sneeze expels a ghost. Each yawn draws one back in. 22. After the sledgehammer, a glowing bit of blue-green in his thumbnail's half moon. 23. Catgrass, catnip, and cat. 24. The mirror is her only friend. It mouths the words she wants to hear, yet never speaks. 25. Flashes of pink cat tongue in the glass bowl. 26. As she started to brush her hair, she imagined each bristle a 4-penny nail. 27. That certain light at dusk, when the world is as sharp and vibrant as a color photograph. 28. She could not tell if sand or snow covered the ground. 29. Fingernail, thumbnail, toenail, hammer. 30. Whenever he wrote something on a pad of paper, he saved only the blank sheets filled with vague indentations. And next is the construction of the alphabet, which you can see in your book.
Making sure everybody sees. Okay, this is a selection from Notes from Under, which is a revisioning of Dostoevsky's Notes from the Underground. Or is it Notes from Underground? I am a sick man, but actually I am not, although I respect out of spite. Frightening sparrows bring me a doll of sugar. I would melt myself and suffer. That's how it is. I lied just now. I knew that you thought so. I could not become a scoundrel nor an insect. I want to tell you I haven't often wanted the lot of a cultivated misfortune merely out of bravado, clattering to exercise my wit. I care about the laws I cannot break through, but neither will I accept the stone wall, consequence of all, inertia, silent and wallowing. It is impossible to tell you are still in pain. Give your own self a fist as painfully as you can, absolutely nothing else. A man who has soil, his moans become mean, better than anyone else. They no longer believe him. Minds at ease, think. I exercise myself to infinity. When he rids his old bad habits, the laws of nature, that all possible questions with answers arise. Grateful that you would, in the midst of mocking, arms akimbo, smash all this good. Hard kick to the devil, our own wouldn't be so bad. One's own free whim, be it wrought madness, all of this, knocking all systems. Where did our sages have normal, virtuous independence? The devil knows. The process of the goal itself can vouch for that. Mankind is nothing but words. Oceans, he would swear, discovering there a certain achievement. There is evidently some sufferable thing dispensing praise. Autobiographies are sure to lie, to admit to all vanity. Man who made his other hand, it's nothing but vice. Catch me at my word.
And now we're going to perform a part of Nico Vasilakis' vowel list. Any of you who were here the last time I spoke at the Stain Bar heard part of this. I bet it sounds different this time.
Ow, ow, bo, I, by, ow, by, I, wo, and, ow, we, ow, we, ow, we, ow, wo, bo, by, ba, ow, we, I, bo, ow, wo, ah, ew, wo, ew, wo, so, is, sei, sei, is, so, es, sei, es, sie, sei, so, sei, fa, es, fa, so, is, fu, es, so, sei, sa, so, sei, fa, so, fe, is, so, is, so. Ko, ik, kai, if, vo, f, kai, ti, kai, vo, kai, va, f, ka, vo, if, ku, f, vo, kai, ka, vo, kai, va, ko, ve, ik, vo, ik, ku. Zo, ik, zij, ik, zo, x, zij, x, zij, zo, zij, x, x, zo, zij, do, id, die, id, do, ed, die, di, do, go, die, ga, ed, go, do, id, do, go, di, ga, do, go. Ko, is, ki, zij, zo, es, ki, ke, ki, ko, ki, ka, es, ka, ko, is, ku, es, ko, ki, ka, ki, ka, se, is, ko, is, ku. Ho, hi, ho, po, he, ho, po, ha, ho, pa, ho, po, ho, pa, pe, po. Or, lord, ear, right, or right ear, low, ear, or right, yard, lay, or right, or low, row, right, la, or la, low, or low, ar, ear, zo, low, ra, low, le, la, low, le, low, jo, in, jai, in, jo, in, ni, na, jo, ja, et, ja, jo, no, na, nin, ni, na, jo, mo, in, kai, in, ko, in, kai, me, mi, mo, mi, ma, Two short poems. Try to listen to the third word carefully. When the clicks, it jumps. Contents ahead, linking all together, have not been concerned. Because as for the link and the like, which was pasted, there is also a possibility of the contents and the with source, which is malice, and page, which crashes, etc., which prohibit the perusal under 18 till the bulletin board, please note, sufficiently. A beautiful, through a miraculous, into the run of time, written by a convert, a brief streak of recognition crossing her face. Beyond results, the threadbare hope extinguished once beforehand. I write every day. I have no title for this piece. There are 50 words at the end of the day. Next year there'll be 51, the year after 52. And I suppose when you get closer to 100 than you are to 0, you start thinking about autobiography in some ways. So these are autobiographical. I dreamt last night my tongue was growing very long hairs. Not that my hair was growing tongues. Either condition, of course, would be equally disturbing, but I figured I could trim off the hairs on my tongue. What could I do with thousands of tongues flapping from my head? Hotel Abbey, Jones and Geary. Because I was cute, the manager gave me a couple of days' grace on rent. When I was pissed, I'd go to the roof, scoop handfuls of pebbles, wait for Johns to pull in the parking lot with their hookers, then rain pebbles on their cars. My last will and testament. When my vision diminishes, I give everything within my reach to transparency, to depth, and I give everything beyond my reach to variation, to vigilance. To everything, near and far, spiritual and material, to you, me, I give one last wink, one last deep breath. Scott Klabundy might have saved my life, shepherding me out of Lincoln Park, where I'd stumbled into the tennis court fence. Gouging my face, he walked me back to Kubi's. I woke next morning lucky to have the worst hangover of my life. 2 Reds, 2 Quaaludes, washed down with scotch. The world warmed up, filled out with noises. I thought close to here. Birds sang their lives were too short. Car tires between metal and stone screamed. Dogs barked after branches, bat toys. Liam's hesitant dribble, doubt between hand, between basketball, between cement. Flow of clouds fooled just about everyone. I believed in God enough to flinch when I used his name in vain. Lightning striking me dead made me cautious, if not faithful. My gods were Hank Aaron, Ernie Banks, Ferguson Jenkins, sweet swinging Billy Williams. I dropped my glove at Wrigley, which Aaron retrieved to connect with the gods. Sam had big hands, reminiscent of Van Gogh's Peasants. Dairy farmer his entire life, 25-mile radius to his universe. When asked, Sam told stories about every house, every building. He went to the brick school, its floors now crumbling, roof collapsing, halls coated in asbestos, raccoons shit on stairs. He'll never be forgotten by those who knew him, but he'll be remembered for his death first, shooting himself on a soccer field where he so often excelled. We'll think of suicide, then his smile. We'll hear gunshot before we remember his antics, flexing his muscles on top of mountains. The poetry I knew in 1969, Kessinger to Beckett to Banks. The brilliant, indefatigable control of Ferguson Jenkins. Ron Santo short-hopping ground balls, taking his time throwing to first. We all copied Hank Aaron's rolling wrists, watched Imagine line drives clear the left field wall, or Joe Morgan's flapping arm. He'd been joking, pointing the gun, pantomiming when he fired. His friends looked up to see where the bullet struck. No hole. Then they saw Micah on the floor, shaking, blood pooling. They hesitated, loaded with pot, beer, hydros. For him, the bullet took a U-turn. All his friends scattered. Nothing else sounded like a packet of seeds tapped above fresh-turned soil. Nothing else sounded like sun washing over a face, a shoulder, a pair of crossed legs stretched in relaxation. Nothing else like 5-year-old Noemi pushing in seeds, singing, "This seed will grow, this seed will grow." My temper gets the best of me. Strength, arm speed, volume, sharp articulation, and my worst, especially my aim. I don't remember what Lori and I were arguing about, but I'll never forget flinging the bleach bottle at the couch, a Dave Stewart fastball, and missing. Perfect round hole in glass. In my future, I'll love the rough, raw edges of my garden, blurred boundaries between prairie grass and rock roses, crooked, untrimmed beds, crackling, buckling planters, jumbled stones of the herb garden. I'll appreciate the shovel-turned soil. No clod, no stone, no blade of grass, no thought in its place. I was typecast. Every movie Geof and Jaman made, I played a racist authority figure. In one, I led a skinhead organization. In one scene, the two heroes were going to ambush me. We rehearsed blocking the scene's realistic but harmless moves. Camera rolling, however, I was jacked, glasses flying. Junior year, Quadrophenia was my lullaby. I'd put it on my $49 stereo, move the arm so it would play without end. I'd listen to one side, falling asleep during the second playing. More than once I woke, my father bursting into the basement room to turn my infinity off. Driving above Palouse River on River Road, I rode into another time. Around a bend, I ran into the low-flying path of a blue heron. It flew high enough for us both to miss, then veered as I veered into time before human time. This bird, this flight, this river. This piece is for by Emmett Williams. It's called Duet. I'll read the book.
Art of my dart.
Arrow of my marrow.
Butter of my butter.
Bode of my abode.
Cope of my scope.
Curry of my scurry.
Den of my Eden.
Dew of my ado.
Ember of my member.
Heel of my feel.
Fort of my effort.
Flexibility of my inflexibility.
Go of my ego.
Gain of my again.
Hence of my whence.
Him of my whim.
Ink-y of my dinky.
Inter of my hinter.
Jog of my jog.
Johnny-O of my Johnny-O.
Kipper of my skipper.
Kin of my skin.
Liquor of my flicker.
Lapstick of my slapstick.
Mission of my omission.
Motion of my emotion.
Nip of my snip.
Now of my now.
Oiler of my toiler.
Orpheus of my Morpheus.
Port of my sport.
Patter of my spatter.
Quash of my squash.
Quiescence of my acquiescence.
Raving of my craving.
Ream of my cream.
Scent of my ascent.
Swan of my swan.
Tiff of my stiff.
Top motion of my stop motion.
Unction of my function.
Urging of my purging.
Vent of my event.
Vocative of my evocative.
Well of my swell.
Wallow tail of my swallowtail.
X factor of my X factor.
X of my X.
Ye of my I.
Y of my.
Zip zap zoff of my zip a zap a zoff.
Zim zam zoom of my zim zam zoom.
And continuing, this thing comes off of a blog. I have been talking recently, and I've said that there's no distinction that I'm making between writing poetry and writing to my blog. It doesn't matter what I write. So this is one thing. It's called sexuality, and anybody who's looking for sexuality and doesn't know how to spell it, they find this and wonder what's going on. Before you, the poem stretches, the contours of her body straining within her garment of the finest text. She asks you to watch her, and you cannot resist. She is form and sound and meaning, the woman of your dreams. But asleep, you are actually free of her allure. Your dream wanders over fantastic typographic features that could not exist in the waking world. Each is wonderful and evanescent. From out of your dream, the poem pulls you. In the dark, she touches your skin and the hairs on your skin, tantalizingly, softly, yet insistently. She caresses your body until you realize you are awake and straining tentatively towards her. The night keeps her from your sight, yet you can sense her shape, the smooth curves, the golden ink that colors her skin, the slope of the delicate serif beside her foot, the thin ascenders that are her arms, the full and curving descenders. that are her legs. Your body rises at its center to meet hers. She traces her tresses across your skin, each minimum of hair a tiny digit of desire. You tremble. She takes you into her mouth, and you can feel her tongue singing herself to you. She holds your shoulders and pulls you towards her. In the small, dim light you have been able to pull out of the darkness, you can make out her general form, but you feel her more than you see her. Astride you, she glides across your entire body. You cannot move your body closer to hers, but you try. You want to see her. You want to understand her. You want to know her. She puts you inside her, where she is warm and smooth and close, and you cannot tell the difference between the outside and the inside anymore. You can no longer sense the rest of the world. You and the poem have become one. Her words are your thoughts. Her shape is your mouth. Her sound is your tongue. She holds you tight as you gasp for air. Next, we have a poem from the series of found and aleatoric poems. What this means is this poem has to be found by me, and some chance process has to cause it to be. And this is found and aleatoric poem number 8, Desire for Concealment.
I'm glad you pointed it out, because I didn't know if I could follow that last poem. And you're getting the audience all aroused, and then I'm going to sort of have coitus interruptus here with 6 poems from a collection called Another Switch. But thank you for maybe putting a damper on some of that arousal. The world is thinking. The mask has the show knowing expands. Start another show. The river busts. Very tree. Bow, not bow. Suspicious crowds, thinking nouns, checks and balances, flex. Tide out, birds in, where the sound of water is. The flights. Roads straighter than nature wash up out of reach. The flow's the thing I take off in the space of trying. Language has no natural enemies. Fluidity is emotion, light thrown by night. The idea is the ripple. What does it mean to hear it now? We're crazy to float, knowing distance. Feeling has its own logic, its business in chaos. Racism loses every time. The surface scratches for Larry Eigner, and I really miss Larry. In between exposures, consciousness resides in an old Victorian. Surface scratches. World is around us at every point. He said that. World is around us at every point. A perfect place for mobs. Thought patterns, false fronts limiting the physical eye. Wind folds things out of order. No one infinity. His eyes are too big for his head. The patient protagonist. Light rain still barely lit, yet I believe my entire life earned its ashes. Sun and cloud switched places. I have no clue, no family. Different faces blowed off in the flailing, mundane disaster, manipulation of data. Our eyes meet, but don't greet. Big chains swallow up mom and pop. Narrow hallway, stale air. For every empty occasion, the vision is driven home. Put the key in cognition. I have no blank to wait in. Every possible action has a sibling. Registers. Smell of death, death of smell. The audience grows inaudible. How an apple thinks about itself, how it sits in the eye of a hurricane, emptying out a pail of dim accumulations. Men and women giving up. Small birds scratching seeds. Simple facts and warring states. An easy thought to climb out of. Rocking world mocks the rocker's stillness. And last from this section, ground up for missionaries. My leg fell off. Nothing has changed. The hurdle of inertia can't believe its structure. Sun makes a sound. Stars are positive. Thinking of Kafka, a car crashes against my fury eyelids. Only my thinking is ringing. Pinned in our frameworks, I lost the thread I was hanging by. The cold thought has no meaning. Only madness is symmetrical.
This next is a sound poem by me called A Fever of Fish, and it's designed for two voices. Crag and I performed it this March in Seattle with Nico Vasilakis, who shared the stage with me last year, and with Jim Andrews. He then performed it with students of his in Moscow, Idaho, and we finally make it the rest of the way across the country tonight. And it has a little epigraph at the beginning, which is the crash of your heart beating its way through a fever of fish, by Philip Lamantia.
Mrs.
This
is what it misses. Is this
that fist?
This fist? A fish. A fish? A fish. My fish? A fish?
Fish.
A fish in?
Vision.
In air. In
flight.
flight. In flight.
A light.
I see
Coming.
it now. It
Coming.
is drumming.
Against
Me. Against. My
your
back.
face you
Against.
peel.
My
It in
face
your
I
face.
feel. It
What
in
lost
my
is
face.
your
The
face,
most
your
in
toes,
my
your
face, my toes, my
Drumming,
knees, hands,
drumming.
feet, drumming
In your
my
chest.
drumming
Drumming.
these fish, drumming, drumming
Drumming.
onto the beach themselves, gorge the beach themselves with themselves drumming. Into me
you,
I
you
am.
are.
The water, the wave,
water,
the ocean, the sea.
ocean. See your fist?
Fist?
Yes.
Just a fist?
Yes.
A hand? No fish?
Yes, a hand.
No. None?
Yes, no fish, none.
My body, not water?
Not any.
This. Shiver
Body,
so
not water.
hot, so
You
hot,
shiver.
shimmer,
What
water
shimmer?
shimmer,
What
swimmer,
water?
swimmer, in
Sweat.
my body feel, I
Your
feel
body
along, the edge
feels.
of,
Your
me, my
body.
edge, lightly
Yourself.
across, my
this
skin,
chill. Your skin.
my skin this,
The
bubbling
water,
this,
the wave,
this,
the
heat
ocean,
I
the
feel,
sea,
the bed
boiling,
the bed
boiling,
boiling, my skin, my
Mud
blood,
boiling,
volcanic
mechanic
blood,
gut,
boiling under skin,
understand,
elastic
plastic
boiling, a bag of boiling, the boiling, the boiling beneath, my skin boiling, my hand closed, into a fist, closing around,
misses. A little poem called Any Movement Forward Stopped. Quelched, shirked, and snubbed, the line of thought, of words concatenated, interpenetrations of shape, sound, sense, and thought, he wrought a perfect shroud, pure white, encumbered with symbols, a shambles of words, unheard yet seen, unseen but heard, if on a snowish day he perceived his car as pen, the snow as page, the tread of tire as printed word, in longing lettered pause, impermanent, imminent, then the sudden shudder of frame against frame, collapse, a folding in of fender, bumper, trunk and door, that would be the just found thought, made in perfect, haunting, hurt, and right. a little poem from my book, Out of Character. This is the makeshift expedition we call inspiration. If you ever try to think something up, that's for you. The next is from Longfellow Memoranda. Just a beautiful title, I think, for a book of poetry. And yeah, Longfellow Memoranda consists of poems written that I write against little bits of Longfellow extracts that appear in this little date book that I bought in order to write my diary in. But I bought it without seeing the date book, and it's very tiny. So my diary would consist of 8, went to work, fell asleep. So anyhow, I decided to read the Longfellow, and it's been a while since I read him. It is hard to believe how execrable his writing actually is. It's really terrible, and so I'm trying to take his writing and make something new out of it, day by day, for the entire year, finishing it on December 31st. And I start, for no particular reason, on February 11th, my anniversary. Each morning's opening, a palm of coins. Each evening's end, a skein of voices. February 14th, passion, illumined by snow, filled with light. February 16th, in a genital mood, what his heart desired was warmth. February 19th, neither written nor writ o'er, again and against. February 23rd, human is comprehension, so and not. And that's pretty much all that I write nowadays, is little iterative fragments over and over again, day by day, until eventually, at the end of my life, something has been created. Let's see if it works. I think I got about a week and a half to go. The last poem that you can see in the book, but not the last poem, is Aphrodite, to the great now deceased poet whose name I forgot, Bill Keith, who died just a few years ago, and I did not go to his funeral in Poughkeepsie. Folks, it is traditional in a poetry of mine not to end with words, but to end with sounds. And I sing them because I don't know how to sing. And I draw little poems because I don't know how to draw, and I deal with typography because I know nothing about it, and I write because I can't write. So I bear your forbearance. We probably have enough time that I can do this for a half an hour. This is on the spot, so I never know what it's going to be. Hanaya Ketambo Haya Haya Ko Haya Hitambaye Ha Ha Ye Hambate Hambareya Seamba Heambaye Donge Hade Haidamo Hamba Hamba He Hambareya Hamba Hendira Namara Hambareya Mare Hambare Harabare Kanari Bara Rambaraba He Rambaro Rampati Rampakara Radara Videka Boto Chitote Banate Shi I didn't have my glasses. Thank you.